Democratic State Representatives John Bryant and Mihaela Plesa, both of Dallas, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Your reaction on the fact that this school choice education savings account bill passed?
I think it's a tragic day for Texas as we see the Republican assault on public education that sustained us all of these years, that educated the greatest generation and generations after that. It's given us our community traditions, our Friday night football, our excellence across the board in business and in academia and in sports and in everything else that we've enjoyed as Republicans try to privatize public education by giving tax dollars to people to go to private schools, two-thirds of whom we know will be people that already go to private schools, not poor people. And as they have created 800 charter schools around the state to compete with public education, and underfunded public education for 30 years now, so that we're 44th in the nation in state support for public education. And in spite of all of that, tonight they have voted to give a $10,000 handout, a voucher, to people to encourage them to go to private schools instead of public schools.
Representative Plesa.
Well, I too am deeply disappointed in my colleagues. There still was a bipartisan effort to vote no on this bill, and I'm proud of my Republican colleagues who had the political fortitude to stand with their constituents and vote no. Look, everybody knows what happened here. Governor Abbott dumped a bunch of money in Republican primaries to scare a bunch of people off. And today, when Governor Abbott was afraid, he put a call into the White House to have Donald Trump call my colleagues and make fear into them for them to vote no on this bill. And that's what we saw today. Because even after Republicans voted no on this bill, they went on social media and said they voted because they felt they had to, knowing the bill might pass, but they are still skeptical in this voucher scam. So I don't think much has changed in the last 2 years since we were here.
What's next? What should and can Democrats do now that they've had second reading? Nothing's going to change on the third reading, but it may come back to the House if the Senate doesn't go along with the changes, right?
Well, look, this is what's next. What's next is the elections for all these people who decided to vote yes on this bill. Because I can tell you, I am a student of history, and I have seen that members who have voted for vouchers tend to lose their next elections. So all those members better stand strong in their convictions to vote to defund public schools and take Texas tax dollars out of public schools and put them in unaccountable private schools. Because I think, like I've said to you before, this is not a Republican or Democrat issue, this is a Texas issue. And the majority of Texans, this came out on Fox today, still wanted this to go before the voters and are against these voucher scams.
Representative, your thoughts on what's next? What do Democrats do next?
I think if there's an opening to defeat vouchers, we will certainly take it. I think, though, that we have to make clear that this is part of the Republican assault on public education and the attempt to privatize it. It's one more step in that direction. The abandonment of support for public education on the part of elected Republicans is a very tragic development, and it's been developing over a number of years. Democrats are going to have to speak up, educate the public, and urge them to support us in our effort to support public education.
I was just going to ask you a last question. What is your message to Democrats and others who oppose this legislation now that it's passed?
To Democrats?
And to others who are opposed?
Yeah. Our message is that elections matter. And if you want to support your public schools, you're going to have to leave the House and go and vote for Democratic members of the legislature. If you continue to vote for Republican members of the legislature, you're going to lose your public schools.
Well, my message is, my Republican colleagues talk a lot about eliminating property taxes and reducing people's property taxes. I can tell you one thing about this bill. This bill is going to make all our property taxes go up. And politicians are going to have to live with those consequences.
Why is that? As far as why do you think that property taxes are going to go up?
Well, I can tell you in my district, that's a recapture district, every time a student leaves my school district to go to a private school, the amount of wealth or the amount of property wealth that is in my district doesn't change. That that money is going to have to shift to somebody, and that is going to be Texas property owners. That's going to be property tax owners. So mark my words, our property taxes will go up.
Democratic Representatives Mihaela Plesa and John Bryant of Dallas, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.